Okay, so before I get started with this Q&A, I just started playing Undertale, and I'm not that far into it, but I've seen a few videos here and there of people talking about, like, fan voices for, if they ever did, like, an animated show or did a remake of the game with voices, like, who could those voices be, Who would have those voices to fit the character? And I've seen a bunch of headcanon voices of people whose voice actors they'd love to pick for Undertale characters. And I thought, what the hell? I want to do this. I want to have a little fun here. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, also, I really suck at pronouncing the name, so please be... so just letting you know, and I'm only going to be talking about the major characters. I'm really only going to be doing the major characters. But who knows? Maybe I'll do the minor characters as well in this video. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, so let's start off with Flowey. Yeah, Flowey, that little bastard. So, like everyone else, yeah, Alex Hirsch doing a version of his Bill Cipher voice would be perfect for Flowey. When you hear, like, Bill Cipher talk, and then you sync it up with, like, some of the dialogue that Flowey has in the game, and you're like, yeah, Alex Hirsch would be perfect for Flowey. Yeah, he would be absolutely perfect. My second pick would be Richard Hovitz, most of you guys would know best as Zim! Yeah, I think Richard Hovitz would also do a really good job at this role. He would just make it sound so bombastic and so hilarious. Whereas with Alex Hirsch, I think he would have that kind of chilling factor as well as having clearly a lot of fun with it. So there you go. So moving on now to Toriel. Again, I mispronounced the name, it's the female monster. And yeah, I have a few picks for her. First off, Dee Dee Magno Hall. Most of you guys would know best as Pearl. Here's the thing, you need someone who can be motherly. You need a very person who can be a kind and motherly person to this character. You really need that kind of... you need someone who can carry that kind of grace, So, Dee Dee obviously is Pearl. I think she would be great. Colleen Clickenberg would be also an interesting pick, but I don't think... like, in the back of my mind, I don't know. I think she'd be better off as Undine. Undine. I think she would be better off as Undine now that I think about Colleen. Yeah, for Colleen Clickenberg, but I'll get to Undine later on. There were so many others. Nicole Oliver. There you go. That would actually be my number one pick. Actually, Nicole Oliver. Most of you guys would know best as Princess Celestia in My Little Pony, as well as Starling from Stormhawk. She's done a lot. She's done a lot of voice acting. So Nicole Oliver would be, I think, yeah, she can do that kind of wise and motherly kind of voice, so I think she'd be out of all the other picks, even more than Dee Dee, honestly, she would be perfect for the role of Toriel. So let's move on to Sans. Oh boy, Sans, I've got a few. A lot of people have said John DiMaggio as Sans, which would work. I think he can, John DiMaggio, I think, would be an interesting pick for Sans. I, however, would say Sonny Strait. Sonny Strait, most of you guys would know best as the voice of Krillin, because I don't know, like I just feel like Sonny Strait would doing his like a more, I guess, a little deeper version of his Krillin voice. I feel like that would work, and like I feel like it would be his version of Sans would be like a mixture of Kuro Sensei from Assassination Classroom and Krillin from Dragon Ball Z. Like it would be like somewhere in the weird ass middle with his version of Sans. So Sonny Strait would be my pick for Sans. My other picks would be, like I said, like earlier, like a lot of people said, John DiMaggio. Kind of doing like a more looser version of his Jake. Who else? Like I had another one too. Shit. Steve Blum would be interesting because he's done fun characters. So. He's done a lot of higher pitched fun characters, so I think Steve Blum would be an interesting Sans. But yeah, I think that's all of them. I cannot remember his name, but the voice actor for Howard from Randy Cunningham, Ninth Grade Ninja, he would be awesome as well. So let's move on to Papyrus. Papyrus, there's only two. Literally only two people, and a lot of people have suggested both of them, and I can see why, because both these voice actors would fit Papyrus perfectly. First being Tom Kenny. Tom Kenny would be awesome. That kind of high-pitched, that kind of just spastic voice that he could do. I think he would be Tom Kenny would make a great Papyrus. My second pick would be Armand. Armin Shinerman. Armin Shinerman, who most of you guys would know best as the voice of General Scar from, Evil Concarne, as well as The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. So, yeah. Just now imagine that the voice of Scar coming out of, the voice of General Scar coming out of Papyrus's mouth. You now just can't get that out of your mind, can you? But either one of them would be perfect for Papyrus, but I think Tom Kenny would probably take it more. I feel like that kind of loud and boisterous kind of form, as well as that kind of spastic energy you need for Papyrus, would be... I think that would be more Tom Kenny's element, but if you want to go for a little more subtle, and still very sarcastic, then I would pick Shimmer... I can never pronounce that last name. Shinerman? And I feel like I still screwed it up. Anyway... So, moving on now to Undyne. I feel like I'm always butchering these names. I'm sorry. I feel so sorry. I feel really... I'm really sorry, big Undertale fans. I'm truly sorry. I'm trying. So next up would be Undyne, and for her pick, I feel like you need someone who can be strong and very aggressive. Colleen Clickenberg would be really good. Most of you guys would know her best from various animes. But my other pick would be Kimberly Brooks, who is the voice actress for Jasper from Steven Universe. The other pick would be... there was another pick of another... Olivia Olson would be an interesting one. I feel like she would be an interesting pick for her, but I feel like Olson would be better off for Tuffet, honestly. The spider character. Why am I fucking up these names? I'm sorry. I feel awful. But yeah, Undyne, you'd need someone who can be strong and powerful, and you can have that kind of level of aggression and calmness to them. So I feel like Kimberly Brooks would be my first pick. Second pick would be Clickenberg. Yeah. So there you go. So moving on now to Mettaton. Mettaton, a few people come to mind. Darren Norris, the voice actor for Knockout and several other characters, Knockout from Transformers Prime, and several other characters. I think he just doing his Knockout voice for Mettaton would be perfect. Vic Mignogna is another one. If you've ever seen his Tamaki from Host Club, then you'll know what I'm talking about when I say, yeah, he would make a great, Vic Mignogna would make a hilariously awesome Mettaton. So those are the only two, really, for me, for Mettaton's voice actors. So, moving on now to Burger Pants. Burger Pants, Justin Roiland. That's the only one, whenever I played the game and saw Burger Pants, I was like, all I can think is the voice, Morty's voice coming out of that little spastic cat. Yeah, so Justin Roiland for Burger Pants. That's all I need to say, honestly. Yeah. So moving on now to Asgore. Asgore, I think you need someone who can have a lot of big and deep and powerful voice. A lot of people have said James Earl Jones, and I can buy that. James Earl Jones is a great, he has a great voice, and I feel like that would fit. But if you want to go a little lower tier, because I feel like, it would be kind of hard to get him to do an animated series on a constant basis, I would say Dan Green. Most of you guys would know best as the voice actor for Yami Yugi, as well as a lot of early animes. Dan Green, I think he would be perfect doing his Yami Yugi voice for Asgore. I think, he would just be absolute, that would just nail it for me. In terms of others, I think Christopher Sabat would be another great pick. Yeah, Christopher Sabat doing a deeper, more wiser version of his Piccolo voice. Yeah, Christopher Sabat would be my second pick. But yeah, Dan Green and Christopher Sabat. There was another one I had. There was another one that I had in my mind. Peter Capaldi would be another good pick for Asgore. But I feel like people wouldn't... I don't know if people would appreciate a Scottish-sounding Asgore. But then again, all he has is text. He just has text, really. So you can't really judge the voice. So maybe you can give him a bit of a Scottish brogue to him to spice up the character a bit. So Peter Capaldi would be my lower pick. Anyway, So let's talk about the main character, Frisk, aka and slash Chara. Tara Strong is usually a lot of people pick what a lot of people pick for Frisk. I would say for both personas, I say Melissa Fawn, the voice actress for Gaz and Edward from Cowboy Bebop, and she's done and Rika from Digimon Tamers. I feel like she can do sinister as well, sinister, psychotic, and bright and happy in so many different levels. I feel like you kind of need that for the two different personas that Frisk and Chara have. So you can do fun, psychotic, and fun and happy-go-lucky, as well as nervous and tone. So Melissa Fawn I feel like she would just nail it as Chara and Frisk. So I think she would be perfect for that character. I can't think of anyone else mostly, so Melissa Fawn for her. I feel like I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, I'm forgetting Azriel. So young Azriel, I would pick. God, I had one and I lost it. See, I should just write this shit down. I really should. I would say Sean Marquette. Most of you guys would know best as the voice actor for Foster. He was the voice actor for Mac on Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, but I feel like he's kind of gotten older. Yeah, he's gotten a little bit older since that time. So Sean Marquette in his younger years would have been perfect. I don't know who could do it. Maybe Tara Strong. Kathy Westluck would be an interesting pick. Yeah, Kathy Westluck. She's done a lot of She's done a lot of young boy characters. I mean, she played Garcia in Black Lagoon. So yeah, and she's done a lot of played a lot of young characters despite being an older woman. And that's not alien for hell. The voice actor for Bart is I think she's little over 40 now. Yeah. So yeah, Kathy Westluck. Young Azriel, Kathy Westluck for young Azriel. Voice actress for Spike, Garcia Lovelace. I think she'd be perfect. Now moving on to adult Azriel, and I've got two voices. A lot of people have picked a lot of them, but they work. They honestly work for adult Azriel. And those two the first being Johnny Young Bosch, who most of you guys would know as Adam, as the second Black Mighty Morphin Ranger. But we also know him best for Lelouch V. Britannia from Code Geass, as well as several other animes and animated shows. So Johnny Young Bosch, and the second one, and this is my personal favorite too, and not to say anything wrong with Johnny Young Bosch, but I actually think this would fit a little bit better, and that is... God, I blanked on the name. Todd Haberkorn, that's it. Todd Haberkorn. He'd be perfect. He would I think he would knock it out of the park doing his version of, his, kind of like a more darker, more sinister tone of his light Yagami. So I feel like, yeah, Todd Haberkorn would be my first round pick for adult Azriel. Not to say anything bad about, Johnny Young Bosch, but I feel like I could easily take either or in this matter. Oh yeah, I'm also forgetting Dr. Alphys, aren't I? I totally forgot Dr. Alphys. And a lot of people have said Shelby Rabara, who most of you guys would know as the voice actress for Peridot. She'd be good. I feel like she'd be good. I'd even say, oh god, what's the voice actress for BMO and Candy from Gravity Falls? God, what's her name? I can't remember her name, but her. I think she would also be an interesting pick for Dr. Alphys. So either her, but I think Shelby would fit it a little bit better. And yeah, so I got all the major characters. I might do another video to kind of talk about the minor characters, but I kind of like we don't really focus on the minor characters that much, so it'd be hard to strain my brain over that. But yeah, I figured I just might as well get the major characters first. So you guys tell me, if you could make an animated series around Undertale, which voice actors and voice actresses would you have in an animated series of Undertale? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.